So last session we discussed how to handle various input in JavaScript. How do we manage various input? So input is defined using what are those concepts?
అన్నీ పెద్ద పెద్దవి ఉన్నాయి కదా కొటేషన్స్ ఎందుకై మీటింగ్ పెట్టుకోవడం ఇవన్నీ ఇవన్నీ ఉంది అక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ ట్రైల్ అన్నీ ఉన్నాయి కదా మనమే లాగిన్ అయిపోయవచ్చు చెక్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అందులో ఆల్రెడీ చూపిస్తుంది కదా 1 వీక్ 1 మంత్ $180 $360 ఎందుకంటే ఈ వేస్ట్ టైం వేస్ట్ చేసుకున్నాం అసలు ఎవరు అట్లానే ఉంటుంది స్టాండర్డ్ ఉంటుంది వాళ్ళు ఎందుకని అసలు నిన్నటి బాగుంది షార్ట్ నెట్ కూడా ఉంది శ్రీశార్ అది ఎంత కొటేషన్ పంపించలేదు కదా వచ్చేస్తావా సరే
So what are the input techniques we learned by using prompt? We can input another one form input elements. Form input elements, lot of elements we can use. We saw one. We saw how to put a text box, how to we use a drop down and a checkbox. For example, let's see another option how we can handle the input. So what is another option of input layers? So how we can manage the input? Audio is not coming in.
Is it clear now, online people, everyone? Is it audible, clear? Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. So in input techniques, we saw the prompt and form input. There we used a few text boxes. Check text boxes and radio checkbox. Yesterday's form input, we used a checkbox. Yeah, this is a simple input we have designed. So in this register product, we used a text box, we used a number, we used drop down, we used a checkbox. User can submit the details, we can collect and use them and edit, and it opens. We handled this into save button, right? User can make the changes and save. It will update and display. Have you tried this? Yeah. So this is a basic of input. I will show one more simple input how we can handle for form. Let's see another input. Suppose we have like some Inox movies. In this, suppose we are having like this. So this is one option having. So in this, user can select movie, user can select cinema, select date, select timing, select seats. And when user clicks book, those details must come. So how we can handle that? That means how we can design. Let's see. For example, for that, what we will do now means in the summary, what it should show, user selects some movie, user selects some timing. So user select some date, user selects some timings and select seats and book. And that summary should come here. That summary should display there. That summary should come like this. That means poster, location details, and all such information, whatever selected. From where user inputs all these details from drop downs, all are drop downs. So let's create that. We can try even this poster also. So suppose we are using this poster. So let's open Snipe. And here I will select a new. This is one poster. So let's save this in our D driver. So it is Flipkart in the public images. We have some fast text. Okay, it's a JPG. One more, I selected something here. And let's save this. So we have some crop. Okay. Now let's save this. And this is another one, some Kerala. That's save. Okay. This is a simple images we copied. Huh? Now we will create a simple input here. This is some inox input.html. So we are creating a simple document structure, and here inox movies, and we have a link relation. So this is style sheet and href node modules, and in node modules bootstrap dist js css bootstrap.css. Okay, and another link relation style sheet href is node modules, and in this bootstrap icons and font css. We will use script also, script source. This is node modules jQuery and jQuery dist jQuery.js, and another node modules bootstrap dist js bundle js. Okay. Now in this we are creating a simple interface. So container fluid, and you can see in this we have a button I will give. So class BTN and BTN danger and margin top 2, suppose 3. So here I say quick booking, and below this we will create a container class model fade and ID as some booking. And this model will have so class model dialog, and so here model full screen. I will use model full screen, and we have model content. Model content will have a model header. Model header. In this we have a heading. So quick booking, and here close button also. Class BTN close. Data BS dismiss is equal to model. And here we have class model body. In this we have a div. In the model body we have class deflex, justify content around. Justify content around. Around means left, right also gap will come. Next we have div. We have a select. This select have a class form select. And here we have option. This option have select movie. And another option. So we have some fast X. And we have another option, some Kerala story like this. Those images we copied. Huh? So similarly, this is another. Okay, this is select cinema. So here, so Inox GVK. So hills. Okay. So here I said some Inox, some Amir Pate like this. So this is just cinema. Another dialog. This we have select date. So this is the date. How they given the dates. This is the movie. This is what date today, tomorrow. So they given today. And row as what it is, they given 20th May, right? 20 May something. Okay. Now here we have another one. Okay. Next what? Select time. Here we have some 10:20 a.m. So here some 10:30 some p.m. something like this. Okay, next we have select seats. Okay, we have number like 1 and 2 like this we can have. So we have another option that is 3. Okay, we can add any number there. After that, we need a div with a button book and a class BTN and BTN danger. Okay, this is the div we have, we will keep padding 2. That will be better. Okay. Now let's open this model. So on button click, data BS target, hash booking, data BS toggle is model. Okay, this is the design we created. So this is the quick booking. And when user clicks on that quick booking, a pop-up will come like this. In that pop-up, user can select a movie, can select a cinema, can select a date, can select time, can select seats. And when user clicks book, this summary should come. That means on book click, it should show the summary. On book click, it's not closing. So data BS dismiss. Okay. So now it closes that option. Okay. On this book click also, it should close. Then on this, we have data BS dismiss as model. Now, not just closing, I want that summary of all these details. So here, after this div, I will create another div. So this is a class. This is an ID. This is summary container. And in this, we have a class. This is W25. And here we have a heading, booking summary. Summary, right? Yeah. Booking summary. And here we will add a data list. Data term. This is all the details what we are collecting. One is what? First one is movie, data definition, ID as LBL movie. Another cinema, data definition, ID as LBL cinema. Another data term is date and ID as LBL date. And time. So ID as LBL time. Another is seats. So ID as LBL seats. And here we will keep this class as row and this class as call6. And this also class as call6. Equally we are dividing. Then let me copy. All terms and definitions are occupied with column 6. This is a booking summary. Class BG dark, text white, W100, padding 2. So this have an image here, IMG, ID as IMG poster. So width is suppose 100%, height as some 200. Okay, actually this is the booking summary. So this is a paragraph I will give. Okay, this is fine. Now what should happen is for everyone, margin bottom is 3. For every term, margin bottom 3. Some gap. Okay. Here margin top 4. Fine. Now this booking summary also margin top 2. Some gap. Fine. And we don't want that to display by default. Summary container should not display. Style display as what? None. Okay, now we need quick booking. And when user clicks book, it should close and collect the detail and display here. So we need to write one more point is every drop down needs an ID. So this is ID. LST movies. So ID LST cinema. Okay, ID LST date. ID LST time. And ID LST seats. All are fine. Now we have to write the logic for this button. So we have to write on click. So book click. So we need to write a function here. So script and type as text JavaScript. And what is the function? Function book click. On that, we need to display document get element by ID, summary container dot style. We have to apply a style. Which style? Display. Display must be what? Block. That is done. Now here we have one more. What is that? Is all the details from drop down must come and display in label. That's very simple. Document dot get element by ID LBL cinema, LBL movie. In that inner HTML, we want to display document get element by ID LST movies dot value. That's what we need to do. Next, we see now LBL cinema inner HTML should display LST cinema dot value. Another one, LBL date. So LST date dot value. Next, LBL time and LST time dot value. What is it? Last seats, LBL seats. Seats, LBL seats, LST seats. Same. LST what? Seats. Seats dot value. That's it. Now we need picture also. So we will get where this is poster. Poster is document get element by ID IMG poster. IMG poster is nothing but image. We have an poster here, IMG poster, that is image. That we are collecting here, poster. So here we will put another one, that is movie. Document get element by ID LST movies dot value. That is movie name. So we write a condition. If movie is equal to, so what is it? Fast X. You need to write exactly how you mentioned in the drop down. In the drop down, the movie is Fast X, right? Then poster dot src is equal to dot dot slash public slash images slash. So we need image. So fast x dot what? JPG. Else poster dot src is equal to public slash images slash what is it? Kerala dot jpg. Whatever you have. Those are the images we are having. Now see here, I say quick booking and it opens a pop-up. Movie is Kerala story, then cinema, then date, timing, seats, and book, and that summary should come. It should get the details. So I am selecting here. Another one is changing fast text, or actually you can have below this. Let's say, yeah, below this we are having a simple button edit. So edit booking like this. And we have class BTN link. It looks like a link. And we have data BS target. Toggle is model and data BS target hash booking. So hash booking. That's it. That means what? We have quick booking, select the movie, select the timings and seats, book. It will get the details. At the bottom, there is edit booking option. I click on edit booking. I changed the movie and I am changing the timing and click change the theater and some tomorrow book, and it will change the details and show. That means we are accessing the data and we are displaying the data. So we are allowing user to input a value and we are displaying that. This is a simple example of input, right? Whatever we learned in Bootstrap and all, we are using that for presentation. Rest of everything is general JavaScript, collecting the value display. Here the main the time taken is for the design. Logic is simple. Collect value from drop down, assign to label. So only the design part took time here because models and all. So logic is very simple. Logic is just 15 lines here we are having. So rest of everything is design only, right? So this is one example of understanding how to handle input using form elements. I'm giving Inox movies here. That's the example. So for input, I given you two examples now. So one with the general elements, another one with all drop downs. Later we can use other elements also. Next, important in the input, we have third input technique. We can allow user to input by using query string. Input using query string. So I told you three input techniques are there. What are those three input techniques? One is how we can manage input with prompt, then form elements, another query string. So query string, how we can manage query string. Actually, what is query string is? Query string is defined in browser address bar as a part of URL. So query string is defined in browser address bar as a part of URL. So actually it is appended into URL using question mark. And query string actually comprises of key and value. That means we usually define like this: question mark, key is equal to value. We can add multiple query strings that we will see later. Here also, to deal with query string, you need some string handling. You are going to learn string handling in next sessions when we learn data type. But to understand query string, we need some string handling, which I will show you. Actually, this is query string. That means how we define, for example, we define like this. You have a page http:// localhost 5500/page.html. After that question mark, then key is equal to value. That's how we pass. That means we can allow user to input a value from the address bar. User can input the value from address bar. When user inputs value from address bar, we can collect that value. So that means input is not from prompt, input is not from page, input is not from form, it is from directly address bar. From address bar, user can input. Then how to collect this input? So JavaScript provides location.search. Location.search to access query string. So if you want to access the query string, you have to use location search. Location is a JavaScript object. I explained in yesterday's session. Browser model contains. I will upload the diagram. So DOM diagram I will upload. Browser model contains history, navigator, location, document, window. Location means it can access your URL. It can access your path. Path is in that URL, in which folder, which file. So search means it will get only query string. So location search is to access query string. But how query string is written? String is equal to key and value. That means it is written like this: question mark, key is equal to value. But we don't want up to question mark key equal. We want only what is after equal, that value. So here we have to split the string. We have to separate the string at equal. From equal onwards, what is present we have to read. How to read everything from that particular position? That's what I said, we need some string functions. Later you are going to learn string, then you will learn a lot of functions. As of now, you have a function called string, have a function called substring, and string have a function called index of. What is index of is, it finds the index number of character in a string. Index number of character in a string. That means now currently in this string, at which index equal is present? That index starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. At 4, equal is present. So we need to get the index number of equal. Okay. After that, from there, I need to read up to end. For that, we can use substring. Substring is used for reading from specific position to end. So we have to use these to read the query string. Let's see one example here. So first, how to pass query string and how to collect the query string. I will take another example. So here we say search HTML. So here I will design a page in that. Suppose query string. Okay. Here we have a paragraph, just paragraph, and body on load, that is body load. Okay, let's write the script. And in this script, we have, so type text JavaScript, and we need to collect function body load. On body load, we need to collect the string, query string. How to collect the query string? Location dot what search. It will get the query string. But query string contains lot of characters. What are present? Question mark, after that key, then equal to value. So how to separate and how to read what is present after equal? What we will do is, if we will use term, okay, term is another variable. We will get the query string. In query string, we will use substring. Substring is nothing but read from specific index. From which index? We cannot write 4 or 5 because that will be changing according to length of string. Then we will get the position of equal wherever equal position is there. How to get the equal position? Query string dot what index of equal. It will get the equal position. From equal position, substring is going to read up to end. And it will read equal also. Equal should not be there. Then +1. That means after equal position. If I use just this one, what will happen? If I say index of equal, then it will read from equal. Equal not included. We don't want to include equal. After equal, then you have to use +1. So now, where is the result? Result is in term. This term we want to display in a paragraph. So in the paragraph, so document dot query selector P inner HTML, we will display here some message. Your search term is, what is that search term? The term, whatever term comes, we will display that. Actually, you don't know this syntax now. Later I will give. You just use quotations. So plus what term? Like this we define. So we are displaying a message called search term and we are displaying that term. Okay, now let's run this and see here. Initially it is empty. Your search term is currently empty. What we will do here now in the URL, how to pass a query string. Query string is passed with question mark. Any key name can be anything. Suppose I say topic is the key, is equal to what is the value. topic value. Topic value, I will say some JavaScript and hit enter. It will get that JavaScript and show. So such term is JavaScript. I am entering here such term. Suppose I entered like some CSS styles and it should get that and display. And it is showing % because I am using CSS styles. So any special characters, it will display the spaces and all not allowed in query string, right? So we have to just use some hyphen. Now this is how we are accessing data from a query string. So when you are passing query string, remember query string must have a question mark appended with key, and key is equal to value. That is the way how we pass the query string. And whatever the query string is passed, we will collect. But query string will return this entire data. Then how to separate only this part? For that, what we have used index of equal. It will get the index number of equal symbol. Now from that, we have to use what? Substring. That means from that index number, so we need to read up to end. But index number will include that index also. Then we have to use here plus 1. That's what I have done in this, how to manage the query string. So this is an example for another input. This time we are not using prompt and we are not using any form element. We are allowing the user to input value from which place? From query string. How to collect the query string? By using location search, right? So this is one basic example of how we can manage input. So we have two options. One is input, another one is output. So what are the various output techniques? Tell me what are the output techniques we have? Alert, confirm, document dot, write, inner HTML, inner text, and text contenter, and console methods. What are the input techniques? Form input, prompt, another one queries. This is all the basic. That means now you learned 3 major concepts: how JavaScript is added to page, how JavaScript refers the HTML elements, and how JavaScript manages the input and output. That means now you are ready to learn JavaScript. So this is not started with any JavaScript. We just learned the basic introduction of JavaScript, how it handles input, how it handles output. We haven't started any JavaScript language yet. So now once we know the language, then we can do more better, right? That's what we need to start learning. That is JavaScript language basics. In this JavaScript language basics, usually we have to handle some important topics. We have variables, data types, operators, statements, and functions. These 5 concepts will come in this part. So in JavaScript language basics, you have to learn these topics. Then later we can go into advanced level, right? We will discuss about other concepts here. So let's see what is a variable and how it works. Already in SAS, I explained what is variables. What is a variable? It is a storage location in memory where you can store a value and use as a part of any expression. So variables are storage locations in memory where you can store a value and use as a part of any expression. That is what variable is. Without a variable, what is the problem and what variable can do? Let's see. Suppose I'm showing here a simple example. Okay. So I will go and add variables. .html. Here we will write a script. In this script, we are writing some output. Output is document.write. So hello and username. How to collect username? So to collect username, we need a input. So we will use prompt. And I will say enter your name. Okay. After that, I will put here BR. BR will put a break. After that, in the next line, I want to print document.write. And here, I want to print that username. Again, I want to print the username again. That means here, you are alerting a prompt and you are collecting the data and you are using in this line. And whatever you entered in this prompt, it will display there. After that, it is gone. That means the name entered with prompt is not stored anywhere. Then again, if I want somewhere else, again, if I want, then again you have to ask. That means here I am writing again here prompt. Again, enter your name. And here we will put a plus. So welcome to JavaScript. That is the message we want to give. Now, hello name and next line name, welcome to JavaScript. That means whenever you want user name, you need to use a prompt. That's not good idea. That means every time we don't want to ask the name. First time when he entered name, that you can store in a memory and you can use anywhere. If you are not storing in memory, still it works, no problem. But you have to rewrite again and again. So you see now, I will run this. This will be asking enter name. So I entered some name. After that, it is asking again enter name. Because first time what you entered in goes in first line. After that, it is finished. Second time what you entered in goes in second line. And I say, okay, now it can display. This is not good. This is not good. Then what you can do, if he enters any name, at the time when he entered the name, we can collect that and we can store in a memory, so that whenever we want again, then we can access from the memory. So what we have to do is, we need to allocate a memory to store the value entered with prompt. So how to do that? We have to define a variable. Variable is nothing but memory location. Actually, it have three phases. See. So every variable configuration comprises of three phases. Every variable configuration comprises of three phases. What are those? Is one is declaring, another one initialization, and third one assignment. Declaring, initialization, assignment. Variable configuration contains three phases: declaring variables, initialization of variables, and assignment of variables. Assignment of variables. Declaring, initialization, assignment. These are the three important options. So what is the point here is, what is declaring, what is initialization, assignment? I will show you one point. Suppose, so we are defining some x is equal to 10. This x equal to 10 is assigning a value into x. But where is x defined? X is not defined. So we have to define x. But what is advantage in JavaScript is, JavaScript allows to directly assign a value into a variable without declaring, if JavaScript is not in strict mode. We learned strict mode, na? If JavaScript is in strict mode, then declaring is compulsory. What is declaring is, see, suppose var x. Var is a keyword used for declaring. I will tell you the difference, what it is. This is variable, and into x we are sending some value. So this first line is defining a variable name. This is called declaring. After that, you are sending some value into it. This is called assigning. Sometimes what we do is, var y is equal to 20. At the time of declaring, we send a value into it. Then this is called initialization. Initialization. Sometimes people who don't know proper knowledge of language, don't have, they call this as initializing value. That is not initializing value. Initializing means at the time of declaring itself, value must be sent. After declaring, value is sent. Then it is called as what? Assignment. I will show you those parts here now. That means we have var x. This is called as what? Declaring. X equal to 10. This is called assignment. So var y equal to 20. This is called initialization. Initialization. After that, y equal to 30. This is assignment. Anytime it is assignment. After that, y is equal to 40. This also assignment, any number of times. People sometimes call reassigning. but it is assignment. So what is difference between assignment and initialization? Difference between assignment and initialization is nothing but assignment is the process of defining a value into variable after declaration. After declaration, if you are sending a value into a variable, then this is called as what? Assigning. At the time of declaring itself, you send some value into it. Then it is called initialization. So we have three phases: declaring, initialization, and assign. What is declaring means? Defining only name. Defining only name for a variable. So here first important note is you can assign value into a variable directly. You can assign value into a variable directly without declaring. So if JavaScript is not in which mode? Strict mode. That means suppose we have script and here we have directly a function, or simply without that, x equal to 10 document dot write and x equal to the value of x and script close, and here this is valid. This is valid. But important is if we have same thing defined with first line use strict. So this is invalid now. Why it is invalid? Because in strict mode variable must be declared. It must be declared or it must be initialized. Without that you cannot directly assign, right? Now in strict mode variable must be declared or initialized. And in JavaScript variables are declared and or declared or initialized. So initialized by using three keywords. We have three keywords. We have var, and we have let, and we have const. These are the three keywords used for declaring or initializing a variable. Var, let, and const. What is difference between them? That means what is var, what is let, and what is const? Let's see. This is a general concept in interviews actually. Var is nothing but it defines a function scope variable. It can be declared in any block of a function, and can be accessed from any another block. That is what actually declared. It can be declared in any block in a function and can be accessed from any another block. I will show you what does that means. So what is var? Var defines which one? Function scope. Scope is nothing but, already I told you in SAS, na? In SAS also I told you that global block scope. Remember that? Actually, here, when you define a variable, the scope of variable is important. So you see now, suppose what does var means? We will define here function f1. We need to call the function f1 to execute. In that function, a variable is there x equal to 10. So first line here, what we are doing? Here, what we are doing? Assigning. After that, that is actually function block. We are writing if block. If x equal to 10, I am writing a if block. If x equal to 10, what should happen? If x equal to 10, what should happen here is, if x equal to 10, I will declare y equal to 20. This is not declaring. This is what? Initialization. Initialization. That is initialization. Okay. Initializing y to 20. After that, outside this block, I'm using document.write x equal to the value of x. In the next line, so y equal to the value of y. Now observe carefully here. This is the function scope. That is the function scope. In that function scope, there is a variable. This is block scope. That is the block scope. Now what happens is, the function scope is the outer scope and the block if is inner scope. Actually, this is called, so we call this as lexical. That is called lexical scope. Lexical scope is a scope for function which is accessible to inner blocks also. You observe carefully here, where is y defined? Y is defined in inner block, na? But where you are, it is defined in this block, but where you are accessing outside that block. Is it possible to access y outside that block? Is it possible to access y outside block? What is the definition I told you just now? For function scope, what is the definition I told you just now? Function scope means so it can be defined in any block and it can be accessed from any block. That means you defined in an inner block, you try to access in the outer block, it's okay, it works. You can define in any block, you can access from any block. Doesn't matter. That means now what var will do is, it makes this y as function scope. So that in that function, anywhere you can access. Even you declare in an inner block, it is accessible to outer. That is what actually called function scope variables. That means now see here, you see here, it is going to work. There is no problem in that. X equal to 10, Y equal to 20. So that means it is accessible outside also. Now I will move this into this block. Now X is defined outside this block. Na? but you are accessing inside this block. Is it accessible? Is X accessible inside this block? Yes, it is accessible. So blindly var means anywhere accessible. You declare anywhere, access from anywhere. That is what the meaning of function scope. That means now you see here, after this, y is equal to 30. And you can see that it is okay, working fine. You can access from anywhere. So this is the point of, that is the point of function scope. So example I will give here. See, a function scope variable means you can declare or initialize in any function, any block, and access from any another block. But it should be inside that function only. Inside the function, from one block to another block, you can access. Can I declare in inner block and access in outer block? Yes. Right? And very important is here, so many key concepts are there, because many people have a wrong idea, confusion about them. Actually, the concept of, that means the process, means the process of configuring members in outer block and accessing in inner block, and accessing in inner block is known as, the process is known as closure. We call it as a closure. So that means a closure allows the members of outer block accessible to inner block, which is actually the mechanism closure. That's only simple point. Actually, in almost all JavaScript interviews, this question will be there. In every JavaScript interview, there will be an option. What is a closure? What is a closure in JavaScript? Closure is a mechanism of a function where the members of outer function are accessible to inner function. That is called closure. And if anybody asks, the members of inner function accessible to outer function, not always. Not always. That depends on the situation and how you declared them. Suppose I am using var and declaring a variable inside a block. You can access in outer block. That is okay. That's working fine. So var allows, right? One more, what you understood here, another point is the scope of outer function, the scope outer block, the scope of outer block is known as lexical scope, So closure and lexical scope are the common terms in majority of JavaScript interviews. And many people think it is separate programming, some logic I have to write for this. Nothing. That is completely confusion. Right? That means it is not a program to write for a closure or for a lexical scope. Many times now some websites or some people, what they do, they say that they put a heading, lexical scope program, right? So, and closure program. Then you will think that for closure, I need to learn some program. That's not, that's all misguidance, right? The closure is a mechanism. Lexical scope is a scope. That means from where it starts, where it ends. If you know, that is scope. Right? So what is a closure? Closure is a mechanism of allowing the members of outer block accessible to inner block. By default, it is allowed. Closure is allowed. And what is a lexical scope? The scope of outer function, which is allowed for inner function. That scope is called lexical. Lexical scope, anything you defined in lexical scope is allowed for inner. That is the mechanism. Okay, that is one point. Next important is, so this is the lexical scope. I will give here, this is lexical scope. Right? That is a simple syntax. I will just give there, right? Another important here is, what is the concept of where is? Where allows declaring, assigning, and initialization. Already all three are there na? In the program, all three are there. Declaring, assigning, another one, initializing. All the three are there. Right? Another important, already I have all the three. This is declaring, assigning, and initializing. Another important, where allows shadowing. Where allows shadowing. What is shadowing? What is the concept of shadowing? Where allows shadowing? Shadowing is nothing but, shadowing is the process of redeclaring or initializing a variable again within the scope. That is what actually shadowing. Redeclaring or reinitializing a variable again within the scope is called as shadowing, which is not allowed in many programming languages. Several programming languages will not allow shadowing. We need the concept of shadowing, right? So that means here one important is, like, suppose you see now, I am creating here var y20, y equal to 30. What I am doing here? Y is initialized. After that, again, I am writing y equal to 30. What I am doing here? Assigning. I am assigning, right? Is it allowed? Assigning is allowed. I am again using var y30 or 40. I am writing like this. This is not assigning. This is what we call shadowing. That means already it is declared and initialized. You are again initializing. Why? Because this situation is required so many times. Sometimes what we do is we declare, we use that variable. After few moments later, we want to delete that memory allocated, and with the same name memory again we want to clean up all the memory, and again with the same name again I want. Then this mechanism is used. So we use shadowing, and very important is shadowing allowed? Yes, it is allowed only for where. Only for where the shadowing process is allowed. And you can see that it is going to allow that. It's working fine. Right? That is shadowing. This is not allowed in many programming languages. It will immediately say that y is already initialized. You can assign, but you cannot redeclare, reinitialize, which is possible here. This is called shadowing. Right? So where allows what? Shadowing. One more important, where shadowing, I will give this example here. This is shadowing. Another important is where allows hoisting. Where allows hoisting, which is not allowed in many programming languages again. Hoisting is nothing but, for example, I defined x equal to 10. Document dot write x equal to the value of x. Is it valid? It is valid. Why? Because I am not declaring, but still it will work because it is not in strict mode. Na? We will turn on strict mode, use strict. Is it valid? It is not valid. If it is not valid, why? Because we need to declare. That means it will show error. It will show error here. It is saying that x is not defined. So here it will show x is not defined. Right? So if x is not defined, that means now what we will do is I will declare var x here. You are using first, later declaring. This is okay. This is called hoisting. Hoisting means you can declare a variable even after using the variable. It doesn't matter because many programming languages again don't support this. They will say that you first declare and then use. But here it doesn't matter. You can directly use and you can declare later. That means you see here it is working fine. There is no problem in that. Understood? So this is called hoisting. Hoisting means there is no order for that. There is no order, right? There is no order we can handle in any way. These are all the points about what? These are all the points about. So var. Similarly, we have LET and const that we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we'll do, right? Today I have one meeting here. So tomorrow we'll continue. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see that.